Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. This program which we are starting, the background is that number one, Hazrat Jifta Masih Allah Ta'ala will say in his Friday sermon of 8th September said that this is a time when there are so many objections being raised against Islam that recently there was a survey conducted and the reply of the people was that Islam is a religion of extremism and these Muslims should not be amongst us. They are a problem for us. And majority of the people gave this opinion. On the other hand, those said that some time ago a similar survey was conducted and the reply was totally opposite. So that means, who said that we, the Ahmadi Muslims, must take very serious action of our conscience. We must wake up and we should feel our responsibility because we are the people who are custodian of Islam at this time by the grace of Allah. Because Allah has sent us Messiah to Islam for this purpose. And in fact, opposition is always helpful. Throughout the history we have seen, whenever there is opposition, more interest is created and then more people try to find out the truth and then ultimately they accept it. I remember one incident in 1982. There was a question answer of Hazrat Mr. Masih IV in Birmingham. Where about 80 non-Muslims were invited and there was a question answer. And one of the questioners said, they were all English. One said that in the introduction, in the beginning, you said that you have a lot of followers in Africa, new converts, but why not here in Europe? And whose reply was, the reason is that here, at the moment, you think that Islam is not any worth mentioning religion, so why we should unnecessarily oppose it? And because you don't oppose it, this way not many people are interested in it, that whether it is right or wrong. It doesn't affect their life at all. But who said, and I remember those words, he said, a time will come when you will feel that now it is time that we must oppose. And those said, then people will pay attention to Islam and then they will also join Islam. So all these things which are happening, I tell you, this is the result of the praise of the Khurafa. Because Hazrat Masih said that Islam will not spread until there is opposition. So first there had to be opposition. And that opposition has come after the Khalifatul Masih came here. And before 84, there was no mention. You can read the newspaper of that time, I was here. Never ever any mention of Islam in any newspaper or any TV or radio, anywhere. But Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabbi Rahmatullah started preaching and asked all the members to come and we should do this jihad. And also prayers were done. And the result was that first time the opposition started in 88. How? When a book of Salman Rushdie was written. Some Islamic verses were written in 1988. Islamic verses. So, from there the opposition started. Then one after other different things have been happening. Fatwa came from Iran by Khomeini that we gave $1 million to that person who killed Salman Rushdie, and so many things. A book was burned in Bradford in public. This Salman Rushdie's book. 40 people were killed by the Muslims in protest in different Muslim countries. 40 people. But all these things, created an interest in Islam. The result was that within short time, there was one news that in, for example, Denmark, no copy of the Holy Quran was left in the bookshops. All books of all copies of the Holy Quran were sold. And similarly, later on, in 92, 93, 1923, in the Times, the news was that 20,000 British women have accepted Islam. And their interviews are also there. Similarly, another news from America that 20,000 American ladies have accepted Islam. You know, especially the word lady is very important because these people used to say that Islam has not given any right to the women. And here you see the news says, and their own newspapers are saying it, that 20,000 British women and 20,000 American ladies have accepted Islam. So all these things have taken place in this period after the Khalifatul Masih came here and the preaching was started. So now, by the grace of Allah, in the time of the present Khalifa, a new method of preaching is started by those. For example, first thing was in 2003, we started peace conference. This was who started it, you know, the president. And that peace conference took place here in Baitul. And first time you see there are few people, then next time even more. And this year, this was the first time that we had to refuse that we don't have any place in the hall. Previously, we were trying to find people more and more, and asking people, please bring more, and there are not so many people. But now, first time we refused. So this is how things are changing. Now, the thing is that when we enter in this field of Tabligh, what should we do about it? And how we should go about it? This is a very important thing. So, we should see the example of the life of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Because Allah said in the Holy Quran that if you love Allah, you should follow the example of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ, and then Allah will love you. And ultimately our purpose is that God should be pleased with us. No other motive. So we must follow the example of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Now you see, his example was that at the age of 25, he started going to Cave of Hira and continued going there up to the age of 40. 15 years continuously he is going there and praying and fasting. Prayer and fasting. That's it. That was his whole life for 15 years. Now, in the eyes of an ordinary person, it looks as if he wasted his time. He should have gone to the people. Instead of after 40 years, why not he should start at the age of 40, 35, at least 15 years, he could have done more work. But what is the lesson in that? That if you want to do the preaching, then you must first of all connect yourself with God Almighty. And that is impossible without prayer and fasting. So this is why there are many other things, inshallah, I'll mention later on. But today, I tell you that in 92 to onward, under the instruction of Baitul Masih the fourth, you see, we prepared a program of successful preaching. And that program is called 13 Steps to Successful Preaching. Then I prepared a booklet on that as well. And that booklet is called Tabligh Guide. Guide. And by the grace of Allah, one of the Afro-American Ahmadi, who is also the assistant national secretary of Tabligh in USA, Last year he came to US, Salana, UK, and he saw that booklet on the bookshop. Then he read it, and then he went to Hulu and said, "This is a book we want in America." So he said, "Okay, then publish it there." So they published 2,500 copies there, and they have distributed among all the Line. Some people have translated into other languages as well. So, once Chaudhry Ahmad Kalu Sahib, who was the Amir of the kingdom, he said to me that whenever any non-Ahmadi or non-Muslim come to my home, sometimes they come for preaching, he said, I have never felt need of any other book. This book gives me enough material which I can discuss with these people. Similarly, so many other things happened. Once in Jalsa Salana, UK, one American, white American, young man, about maybe 30 years of age, he came to me and said that we are following the method of Tabligh which you have mentioned in the book, Tabligh Guide. And then I asked him, did you have any bad? Because if you follow this method of Tabligh and you don't have the bad, then he said, you can find me. I always say that, you can find me if you don't get the bad. So he said, yes, Alhamdulillah, we have got 4 bads. Similarly, some other people have said like this. So I'm going to now follow that and first introduce to you that system of 13 steps, and it's quite difficult. It's not easy. Because the Holy Prophet, as I told you, he used to go to Gare Hira. If those people have done Hajj, they can tell you how difficult it is to go to Gare Hira. Is there anyone who has done Hajj? To Gare Hira again? Have you been to Gare Hira? Is it easy to go to Gare Hira?
It takes your breath away. It's very tiring.
Right? How difficult it is.
But now they've made it easy, even then it is tiring.
I went there in 2004, still that was very difficult, we couldn't go at that time. So, why Holy Prophet is going to such a difficult place and staying there for such a long period? 15 years, just imagine. So this is why the method which we are following, probably many of you will say, no, sorry, we can't. And I tell you, you won't be able to do that. So, in fact, in 98 and 9, when we prepared a team of Tabligh, those people, they spent so much time. Then, you get the fruit. They used to come Friday evening in the mosque, stay overnight in the mosque, worshipping Allah the Almighty, Tahajjud, Fajr in congregation, Quran Majid, discussion on the khutbah of Huzur in detail, then writing letter to Huzur giving sadaqah, you see. And during the week, they had to fast, at least one fast. Because without fasting, nobody can be successful in preaching. And without tahajjud, impossible. You can't think of this. And if for tahajjud you need all the 5 daily prayers, because if you don't offer 5 daily prayers regularly, what is the meaning of tahajjud? And you can't offer 5 daily prayers unless you know the meaning of the prayer. A blind person doesn't know anything about the prayer, what he is saying. What sort of prayer he is doing? So these are the requirements. So it's not that, so in the beginning, we are not going to discuss any, argumentation. Not at all. It's all useless. If you don't have spirituality and connection with Allah the Almighty, then all this preaching is just a show. This is why, people don't have any result after Tabligh. It's not that God doesn't give any fruit to them. It's not the fault of God. Definitely it's fault of people. And the fault is that they are not fulfilling those requirements which are necessary to get the fruit. So this is why in this class, because this is not just ordinary class, in this class we would like to have those people who are really interested in spirituality. And this is why in the Holy Quran, a very wonderful thing mentioned. All this what I am saying to you, in a very simple way, this is mentioned in the Holy Quran. And that is chapter 2, verse 261. Please try to note as much as possible. When I used to have these similar classes in Birmingham, I used to emphasize that write as much as possible. One day one young man said to me, "Today you have not told us much." I said, "Why?" He said, yesterday I wrote 5 pages. Today I have written only 4 pages. So you have not told us that much as you told us yesterday. And by the grace of Allah, at that time he was a student, now he is a doctor. So this is chapter 2, verse 261. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال إبراهيم رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى قال أولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي قال فخذ أربعة من الطير فصرهن إليك ثم اجعل على كل جبل منهن جزءا ثم ادعوهن يأتينك سعيا واعلم أن الله عزيز حكيم. Which means, and remember when Abraham said, "My Lord, show me how thou givest life to the dead." He said, hast thou not believed? He said, "Yes, but I ask this, that my heart may be at rest." He answered, "Take 4 birds and make them attached to thyself. Then put each of them on a hill, then call them. They will come to thee in haste, and know that Allah is mighty wise." So Allah Ta'ala pointed at Ibrahim as prophet and said that, "How you see, you give spiritual life to the people." He said, "Oh Allah, okay, how should we do it?" Holy Prophet Allah Ta'ala said to Ibrahim, "Take 4 birds and then train them. Attach them to Joseph means that train them. And then they give them the task. Put them on the hill means give them the difficult task. Hill. To go up the hill is a difficult thing. And Tabligh is a difficult thing. It's not easy. If it is so easy, why everybody is not successful in this? And why everybody is not doing it? It is a difficult task. This is why the prophets of Allah and the dedicated people can only do it. So, commenting on this verse, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Tabligh said, he said, and that is in his Friday sermon of 28th of August 1987. He said, हज़रत इब्राहीम अलैहिस्सलाम बड़े आजिज़ मिजाज थे. अर्ज़ की, रब्बे अरेनी कैफ़ा तुहिल मौता, क्या खुदा मुझे मालूम है कि तू कौमों को ज़िंदा करेगा, लेकिन किस तरह? फरमाया 4 परिंदे ले, अपने से मानूस कर ले, फिर उनको मुख्तलिफ सिमतों में भेज दे, फिर उनको आवाज़ दे, तू देखेगा किस तरह तेरे से उठते चले आ रहे हैं. ये नमूना था हज़रत इब्राहीम अलैहिस्सलाम का. बस हर मुरब्बी, अमीर, सदर और हर ओहदेदार को चाहिए कि जमात के बाद अफराद को पकड़े, सुरहुना इलाका के तहत अपने साथ वाबस्ता करें, यानी ट्रेनिंग दे, उनको प्यार और मोहब्बत के साथ उनकी तरबियत करें, उनके सुपुर्द काम करें, उनको दुनिया में फैला दे. इस तरह अपनी तौफीक के तहत 4, 8, 10 को पकड़े, उनकी तरबियत करें और उनको काम पर लगाए. इस तरह ये तादाद ला इलाहा अल्लाह की बढ़नी चाहिए. So this is, first of all, This method is based on the Holy Quran. Number one. Number two, the person who is saying it, he himself is a Khalifa of Allah. And we believe in him. After that, if a Murabbi or president or an office bearer is not acting upon it, what will be the answer before God? Would he say, I don't know? I didn't know that. I mean, Zuhr said in the Khutbah Jummah, now how he can tell people what they should do and what they shouldn't do? And he said that they should take a minimum number is 4. But then he said that according to your own tawfiq, you can increase this number, you can have 8 or 10 or whatever number. So this is why we are not interested in big numbers, that we are having a class of. Yes, we can have some meetings for awareness, and we will have, inshallah. That's it, inshallah, that also will do. That I will tell you later what we have the planning for future things. But at this time, we want those people who have energy in them. You know, this word birds, now I'll tell you why Allah has used the word birds. Birds are fast, they go, they fly. They don't just walk. And also, birds get up early in the morning. Have you ever seen that the birds are sleeping at the time of Tahajjud prayer? So this is why the word bird is used. And number 4, why Allah could have said 10, 30, 50, but you see what Allah said, now it is accepted by all the universities. I discovered that in all the universities, Oxford, Cambridge and other places, they say the best tutorial group is of 4 people. And I have found that in almost all the universities, their groups are 4 people, 4 students with the professor. Why is they done? Why is this? It means they have made their own research that is the best number. And Allah said it 1400 years ago. Or in fact, not 1400, even before that, because it was mentioned in the Holy Quran 1400 years ago, but it was said to us Ibrahim has come even before that. That best tutorial group is of 4 people. So this time maybe at a time will come that we will all make the groups of 5 people. One, teacher, and the 4 other people with him. And then those 5 people will be the best group. And then they will be given the task, okay, you go this way, you go that way, and do the work. But before that, they have to train themselves with fasting and prayers. Of course, those who are ill, they won't be able to fast. But they can pray to Allah, the Almighty. And also for fasting, one method Holy Quran has told us that if you can't fast for health reason or whatever, then you should give fidya. I always pay, in these days I can't fast because I take some medicines. So from that time onward I pay my whole fidya for the whole year. That every Thursday at least we should fast. So if I can't fast, I'll pay the fidya, and for the whole year I'll pay from the beginning. Because I feel this is a responsibility. It's not something that we like it, we should do it or don't do it. Number 1, it's a sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that he used to fast on Mondays and Thursdays. It's clearly written in the book of authentic books of hadith that Holy Prophet ﷺ used to fast on Mondays and Thursdays. And once somebody told him why on Monday and Thursday, he said that on these 2 days the actions of people are presented before Allah Almighty, and I want that when my account is presented before Allah, the angel should say that he was fasting, and then God should have mercy on me. So this is the example of Holy Prophet ﷺ. So okay, if we can't fast 2 days, at least 1 day. And now, President Huzur is at the Tarab, has in fact already given this task to all the Jamaat members, that every Ahmadi who is able to fast, he should fast at least once a week. Although he has said, with reference to the persecution of Ahmadis in Pakistan, that they are suffering and we should pray for them. But at the same time, yes, it is for our own spirituality. It's not that only we are praying for the people of Pakistan. No, we are also becoming closer to Allah by fasting. And you will see that when you start fasting, you will automatically become good in prayers as well. All this weakness in prayer is because people don't fast. If you start fasting, automatically you will see Allah Ta'ala will make you good in your prayer as well. And the next thing is that, as I said, that the birds always get up early in the morning at Tahajjud time. So this is why, if a person is not offering Tahajjud, then at least he is not capable to join this class. He has to make effort for Tahajjud prayer. And for Tahajjud, as you know, 5 daily prayers. And so, I know this is weakness among many people, that they can't say with full certainty that they have never missed any prayer. So, what sort of preaching they are going to do? You know, the base of preaching of Ahmadiyyat is 10 conditions of that. If a person is not following 10 conditions of that, what right he has got to go to anyone and talk to anyone about Ahmadiyyat? And then not only 10 conditions of that, then the pledge of that as well, which we make with the Khalifa of the time. So these few things which I have told you so far, because now the time of prayer is also very close. Maybe some of you have to do your Maghrib prayer as well. So this is why in just 2-3 minutes I'll finish, and then inshallah we'll continue this class after the prayer, and then about 9 o'clock we'll have the food. At what time?
Because we started late, I think we continue today.
Okay. So this is the program that we are going to learn 13 steps of successful preaching, then 10 conditions of that, then the points of the pledge of that, and then we have to make sure that we are acting upon that. In this regard, I will also help you, because some people may think that it's a very difficult thing. It's not difficult at all. About Tahajjud, the Holy Prophet ﷺ has told us a very simple message. He said you should first of all make intention of that you will get up for Tahajjud prayer. And then if you are able to get up, okay, do your Tahajjud. If not, then when the sun has risen, after 2 rakat of nafal, it will be counted as if you have done your Tahajjud. But in that 2 rakat of nafal, you should pray to Allah the Almighty, to Allah, I had the intention, but I'm very sorry that I have not been able to do it, so please help me so that I can get up. So if you continue doing this nafal, one day you will get up Tahajjud. You see, Allah has, made a special system in everybody's heart and mind and soul, that he can get up Tahajjud. It's only, we have to activate that system. That's the only thing. And for this purpose, everything starts with intention. This is why the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." That your action will be in accordance with your intentions. Similarly, for successful preaching, if we don't have intention that we have to make at least one Ahmadi in a year, how you will pray for it and how you will be granted this blessing from Allah? So if you don't get any back every year, it is because you didn't have any intention for that. Otherwise, I tell you, Allah is so gracious and merciful. If you ask Him something and then make some effort for that as well, people are getting so many things in the world already, in this worldly life, for their worldly life. How many things they are getting, but they make some effort for that. So first they make intention that I want to do this. I want to become a doctor. Then you see he starts his journey for this purpose. And it takes time as well. Not in one day he will become doctor. So it means the first intention, and then you should start your journey. So these 13 steps for successful preaching, when you start it, your journey, your goal should be that you have to get one badge at least in 1 year. Why I say one badge? Because this is the work which is given to us by the Khalifatul Masih. Khalifatul Masih fourth said, in his Friday sermon of 27 September 1985. 27 September 1985, Huzur said that ہر احمدی جس تک میری یہ آواز پہنچتی ہے وہ خود اپنا نگران بن جائے اور خدا کو حاضر ناظر جان کر یہ عہد کرے. خدا کو حاضر ناظر جان کر یہ عہد کرے کہ میں نے سال کے اندر ایک احمدی ضرور بنانا ہے. اور فرمایا اور دعا کرے تو یہ کچھ مشکل امر نہیں. اگر دعا کرے تو یہ کچھ مشکل امر نہیں. تو یہ وہ نعوذ باللہ کو جھوٹ بول رہے ہوں کہ ہے تو بہت مشکل اور ہو گیا. نہیں یہ کچھ مشکل امر نہیں. اگر ہم ان کو سچا مانتے ہیں تو ہمیں بھی یہی کہنا کہ ہاں واقعی کوئی مشکل امر نہیں. تو پھر بیعت ہونی چاہیے نا. اگر نہیں ہوتی اس کا مطلب ہم ابھی سیریس ہیں ہی نہیں اس کے اندر. ہم نے کبھی نیت ہی نہیں کی. نیت کریں گے پھر راتوں کو اٹھیں گے اور روئیں گے اللہ کے سامنے. پھر بیعتیں تو خود بخود آ جاتی ہیں. خیر بیعتیں خود بخود آتی ہیں. میں آپ کو یہ بتاؤں, یہ اللہ تعالیٰ کا فضل ہے. کسی کو خواب صاحب دکھا دے گا, کوئی اور کسی کو کوئی بتا دے گا, وہ آ جائے گا آپ کے پاس, کیونکہ دعا آپ کر رہے ہیں. ہو سکتا ہے انٹروڈیوس کسی اور نے کروایا تھا لیکن بندہ وہ آپ کے پاس آ گیا. کیوں؟ کہ دعا آپ کر رہے ہیں. کسی آپ کے ہاتھ سے ہو گیا تو اس کے ہاتھ سے نہیں ہوگی, کیونکہ اس کی تو اس نے اس لیے ذریعے سے اس کو تبلیغ کی ہی نہیں تھی. اس نے تو تبلیغ کی تھی صرف لٹریچر دینے کے لیے کہ میں تو جا رہا ہوں اتنے میں نے پمفلٹ دینے ہیں. بس اس نے اپنا جو اس کی نیت تھی اس کے مطابق کام ہو گیا. جس کی نیت بیعت کی تھی اس کے پاس بندہ آ جائے گا. تو میں تو اللہ کے فضل و کرم سے یہ اتنی دفعہ یہ بات اب دیکھتا رہتا ہوں یہ بات کہ مجھے تو اس میں ایک ذرا بھی شک نہیں. اس بات ایک ذرا بھی شک نہیں. لیکن پہلے بھارا ایک دفعہ آپ کو مرنا پڑتا ہے, پھر اللہ تعالیٰ صاحب کام خود آسان کر دیتا ہے آپ کے لیے. کیونکہ ویسے بھی کئی کام ہیں جو آپ جوانی میں کر سکتے ہیں, بڑی عمر میں نہیں کر سکتے. پھر اللہ تعالیٰ اتنا فضل کرنے والا ہے کہ وہ آپ کے لیے اتنا آسان کر دیتا ہے کہ وہ آپ کہتے ہیں ہاں مجھے پتا ہے کہ آپ تم یہ نہیں کر سکتے, میں تمہارا خود کام کروں گا. لوگ خود آ جاتے ہیں اپنے اللہ تعالیٰ کے فضل سے. اس لیے پلیز یہ سامنے گول رکھ کے کرنے کا, ایسے نہیں کرنا کہ ہم نے سال میں ایک بیعت ضرور کرانی ہے انشاءاللہ العزیز, اور خلیفہ وقت حکم کے مطابق کرانی ہے. اور یہ کام کچھ مشکل نمبر نہیں جو آپ نے فرمایا. صرف یہ طریقہ صحیح ہونا چاہیے. طریقہ کیا ہے؟ یہی جو 13 اسٹیپس آپ کو بتائیں گے. کئی بتا باتیں تو کر چکا ہوں آلریڈی, بٹ ول ریپیٹ دیم انشاءاللہ. جزاک اللہ جی. Now let's go to prayer.